Hi, I'm Whack.
Hey, and I'm Pat. Thanks for joining us for another episode of the Weekly Orbit for Friday, January 17th. It's a little snowy and blustery where I'm recording, and I'm not sure about you, Whack, but winter is here. But we've got a good show planned for you today. We've got we're going to cover markets as usual. We got some AI bots talking to Rocket Pool. We've got a new job at the GMC. And we've got some other staking news. So how's your week been, Whack?
Yeah, cold and blustery here too. On Monday, it's going to hit minus 20 degrees Celsius. I know I've been in America for a while, but I still don't know Fahrenheit. I think it's around zero somewhere. It's been cold this week, and it's going to get really cold as well. So, yay! But yeah, the markets are doing market things, and that's positives and negatives as always. But we carry on.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about markets. So Ethereum right now is at 3,267. It is up just a tad, 1.7% on the week. It's been, it's kind of rough because I just remember, Whack, about a month, I want to say a month ago, we were hovering around 4,000-ish, 3,900.
Yeah, if you go to the month view, you can see.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, let's have a look.
Minus 18%.
No.
3950 was about 30 days ago, December 17th. So, the markets do market things. As we talked about last week, there was some bearish news kind of out of the Fed. There was expectation we'd have a lot of rate cuts this year. And the Fed is like, well, inflation's still kind of hovering around and we may not get, maybe we get a rate cut or two. Maybe we don't get any. It's yet to be seen. So markets are kind of readjusting for that. Let's take a look at Ethereum ETF flows for the week. Let's go back to January 10th. We had outflows about 69 million on Monday, outflows about 39. And then paltry 1.2 million on the 14th, and then yesterday about 40 million. So we're kind of back in positive territory. Well, let me refresh this because
the BlackRock numbers
I see that. Yeah, BlackRock is not on there.
60 million, yeah.
60 million. There you go. Thank you. So pretty decent day yesterday. Take a look at Rocket Pool. RPL right now is at $10.46. It's down on the week about 1.8%. So the ratio is at 0.003149, and it's kind of a low. I don't know if that's an all-time low. Is that an all-time low, Whack? No.
Well,
what's the all-time low?
Not all-time low, but like a cycle low is 0.002997, I think. So it just went under 3, but it hasn't quite gone back there yet, but it's definitely flirting with it. And in dollar terms, it's 850, I think, or something like that.
850, so at 1046. Yeah. This trading view goes over the last 5 days, and if you look at this, markets are pretty flat. Ethereum's up about 1.3%, RPL 0.58%. The broader market is at 0.28% positive territory. So pretty flat on the week. Do you have any commentary on markets in general? What's going on here?
Yeah, so it's really interesting because the data that's been coming in from the Fed, there's two prongs, right? One is the jobs data and one is the inflation data. And the jobs data is in the good news for the stock market is bad news for crypto mode. And the inflation data is good news for the inflation data is good news for the crypto market. So that's kind of like the situation that we're in right now. So last week, we got the jobs data and it was stronger than expected, which then the crypto market tanked because we thought we were going to get fewer rate cuts this year. The Fed was worrying about inflationary pressures again with Trump's tariffs and other job reductions and stuff like that. And then with the inflation data that came out this week, we actually got a little bump from that yesterday. That was kind of the bottom. And that was showing that, the inflation is actually coming in cooler than expected, which is really good. That's good news is good news. So we got a little bit of bounce out of that. So the markets are still trying to figure out what's going to happen with, this Trump presidency and what's going to happen with the policies around things like tariffs and all that kind of stuff, whether it's just a negotiation perspective, whether it's actually a thing that he's serious about, all that kind of stuff. I think those are the things that he really wants to try to figure out, and that's what we're going to see, right? We're all going to see together. So That I think will give us a better idea of where we're going over the next, 1 to 3 months. Is once Trump's in office next week, and we can actually try to get some of those executive orders, start getting official signaling on what kind of legislation they want to prioritize, and then we'll see where we go from there.
Yeah, one thing that came out as a little news story was talk, and it's you read this stuff, and to me, I just take it with a grain of salt until you actually see policy. But there was talk of the Trump administration being favorable to like U.S. based crypto, like Ripple, USDC, Solana. Centralized, basically centralized entities, which goes against the entire ethos of crypto in general, or Ethereum especially. So XRP is crazy dinosaur coin is killing it over the last week. It's up 45%. If we look at by market cap it's at $188 billion. Ethereum's at about 397.
But if you actually click on XRP, you'll see that it's fully diluted. Market cap is a lot higher than that. So click on it and then scroll down a little bit, because not all the tokens are out, right? So look, if you see fully diluted, it's 328 billion. So it's like catching up to ETH there. So
that's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's so stupid. I don't know what else to say it. But hey, what do I know? I had it. Whatever. It's just I don't even know what to say about it. But
yeah, so that's at 328 billion. ETH is at like around 400 billion, I think, like 397 billion. So another 25% pump for XRP, and it would then be ahead of ETH on the fully diluted market cap, not on the circulating supply. That still needs another 100% pump, but with the irrationality of the market, like, who even knows what happens?
It's so stupid.
Yeah, it's up, significantly in the last year, and it's just up and up and up since the election, especially. So, yeah.
Yeah. In terms of like this, there's all this idea of a flirting of a strategic reserve using different cryptocurrencies. It's all talk at the moment, rumors, nothing. I have my personal doubts. I think that's just, in my 2025 predictions, I just didn't think that there would be a Bitcoin reserve in 2025. I just think it's a bridge too far at this moment in time. Perhaps, I'm not saying that it won't ever happen. I just think moving to that is just a little too quick, as financially, the governments and big banks and things kind of are very conservative, and that would be a huge adjustment. And so, but anyways, the XRP and just pumping off some of this news that perhaps it would be part of such a reserve. But it's just crazy. I think it's just folks, they've been off their Robinhood app for a few years, and then they log back in because markets are, there's this Ripple I bought back in 2020. I don't know how else to explain it. Can you?
Can you put in a max chart for XRP? Let's have a look at what it looks like. It goes through these like periods of intense boom.
Oh my gosh!
Pretty much
look at this thing.
Bust, and then a boom, and then pretty much a complete bust, and then now we're back in another boom cycle. So
gosh, that is a crazy chart.
Yeah.
It was at, well, actually we can go down here. All-time high. All-time high is $3.40. That was in January 7th, 2008. That's 7 years ago.
10 cents away.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
And it's even more unbelievable because you had probably a lot less circulating supply in 2018. So it's really, there's been more tokens have come on the market since in the last 7 years. They've got, it's definitely some inflows there. But I mean, I don't know. I just feel stupid talking about XRP. How could it possibly be? I can't rationally explain it. Yeah.
And with RPL, I think like the whole staking meta right now is really low in mindshare, and just like in general, it's not like, sadly, like it'll go up with the market kind of thing. Maybe like, just following along. But it's not going to have its own move until that attention comes back to staking as a whole, or RPL specifically for some reason, like the Saturn upgrades potentially, and that just means that we're going to have to ride it out for now. Yeah,
indeed. Well, last night was reward night, so the rewards period closed, and smoothing pool rewards were distributed. And we had about, I think it was 139 ETH. So that's not a low, but it's the second lowest, I think, going over the entire history here. Besides the first month, we had like 18. So we've had less activity, or less volatile activity. Seems to be less MEV on Ethereum L1. So it's probably a good thing over a long time. You don't want to have, so much. You don't want to have a lot of that on your chain. But so that kind of explains some of it. People are doing more activity on L2s, less on L1. So a whole bunch of things that factor into the lower smoothing pool. But it's still free money. Any comments?
Yeah, I think it's just, it's because of activity in Ethereum. It was a holiday period, so activity tends to be lower around that time. And it's just a signal of there being less activity, less volatility, therefore less money goes into the execution rewards.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at one of the things that came with a Houston upgrade was we'd have online on-chain voting. And Halululo. I got it.
Yeah.
I got it.
Yeah.
He came up with a solution here, put out a POAP to raise some money to get the remaining vote initialized on chain. You'll have to explain to me exactly how this worked, but the POAP, it sold out. Here it is. Vote power initialized. It was 0.006 ETH. And this covered almost all of it, the gas fees, but not all of it. He kind of bit some costs himself, talk about maybe raising some money for him. But that was really cool that he got this initialized. What does this do? So explain to me like I'm 5 here, Whack.
Yeah.
What's
Maybe not
going
like
on
you're
with
5,
this?
maybe like you're 13, but I can explain it. So we have 2 ways of voting. One is like just through snapshot, which is off-chain voting, and this new system that we want to get set up and initialized is on-chain voting. And we basically wanted to have the quorum amounts to be the same for both of them, just so it makes it a lot easier. And that was the inconsistency there. We needed more node operators to have their on-chain voting initialized for it to be the same. Now, in Houston, we got I think maybe in Saturn 0 or Houston, one of them, we got the ability to initialize on behalf of a person. So if a person hadn't done it, then you can just do it for them. And Halulu here basically wanted that congruence between on-chain and off-chain. So he wanted them both to be 15%. So to do that, he needed 158 nodes to be initialized. And he was like, you know what, I'll do it. So he set out this POAP to raise money. The POAP cost $20 and there were 50 of them sold. So he raised $2,000 to do this. Or a little bit less than $2,000, I think, raised money to do this. And then what happened is, he used the money that was raised as gas fees to initialize the votes for these people. So that actually took more gas. He actually ended up doing all 100%. So everyone was initialized because I guess he just got kind of in the flow of it. And that ended up costing more gas than the original amount, but now everyone's initialized, everyone vote power is set up, so it's looking quite good in that sense. So I think this was a really nice little initiative that Halulu took the move on, and he has done like really really cool stuff with it. So I'm really happy about that. I was one of the first people to buy the POAP, so always gonna buy the POAP, and this went to a good cause, so that was really good.
So why is the on-chain voting so important? Why switch to it instead of just doing what we've been doing? Doing it on.
So in the past, what happens is we signal, like, in the forum, we kind of talk about what we want to vote on. Then we have an off-chain vote, and to execute that vote, what happens is the team, previously were in control of the Guardian wallet, and that allows them to do certain things with the protocol, like distribute money and that kind of stuff. And having on-chain voting would just take away power from the team and put it in the hands of the community. So it boosted, the decentralization of the protocol, which of course is what we want. So it's kind of important that we get on top of this, and we still need a security council to make sure everything's going okay. But like slowly, we're going to be having more and more powers coming on-chain instead of being off-chain, and the team kind of dealing with it afterwards.
Sure.
Yeah.
Cool. So that's a good. Thanks to Halulu for doing that, and that's really cool. He took that upon himself. And I'll get that name right one of these days.
Yeah.
Halulo.
Yeah.
Let's talk about AI. It's big meta right now in crypto land. And there's one called HeyAnon, and it's by Daniel Sesta, who is known for different DeFi stuff last cycle. He's also known for them blowing up.
Yeah.
But he's very famous. He's got the Frog Nation behind him.
Yeah.
But he is definitely a guy who jumps right into this stuff. So he's got this HeyAnon AI that he's created. And there's been some interaction here with Rocket Pool. I think, if I recall, Jasper kind of reached out, and Daniel responded that Rocket Pool is something that they'd like to maybe partner with.
Yeah, if you click on the original tweet from Danny here, like not my tweet, like that one, just click on that. No, and then scroll down, and then you'll see the comments. Actually, I think
this is the poll.
Yeah, there you go. Like, and there's Jasper. So we can talk about this. Yeah. So if you want to introduce,
hey, Mr. Sess says, love the product you're building with Anon. Took a quick look through the onboarded protocols, and I think there's a great opportunity for Rocket Pool and Anon. Can we DM? And he did he respond?
He actually didn't. I don't think he responded to Jasper there, but he actually did then end up DMing Jasper, and they talked. So the idea is this. So HeyAnon is a new agent and wallet integration. And the way it works is you say, HeyAnon, like, I want to bridge my ETH from mainnet to Arbitrum, do that. And then it does blah, 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 and then it does it. It says, now your ETH is on Arbitrum. And then you can do this all as one thing, right? Like, so you can say, HeyAnon, move my ETH from mainnet to Arbitrum, then sell half of it to USDC using Uniswap, then go to Uniswap version 3 and deposit the ETH and the USDC into a concentrated liquidity position that is plus and minus 10% from the current price. And then it would do all of those things step by step. So the way it works is, or the way it's supposed to work or going to work, because we don't have a product yet, it's a closed beta, is you will tell the agent in natural language what you want to do in DeFi. And this includes bridging, swapping, depositing, like opening positions, taking loans, all of this kind of stuff. And then it will go and do that on the side. So when he put out this automate framework, I quote tweeted him saying, this is going to enable some really awesome things. I hope to see something like swap my ETH for LST and use it to yield farm. Like, so just you giving these instructions to the app HeyAnon, and then it goes on the back end and it goes and swaps your ETH for some of your ETH maybe, or all of your ETH for our ETH, and then we'll take it to Balancer or PancakeSwap and put it in liquidity and starts earning yield on that. So what would happen is it would already know that this is a really efficient route to do these things. So whenever people say to HeyAnon, hey, stake my ETH, then they would go to Rocket. It would go to Rocket Pool to do that. Now that would be absolutely amazing, right? Like if we had potentially thousands, if not the way Danny describes it, millions of users using this, he thinks it'll democratize DeFi for everyone. Like it'll remove the technical barriers that are available now, that are present now. So if this was something that happened, then we could be in a situation where it would potentially get a lot of ETH coming into minting our ETH. So Jasper and I kind of did a two-pronged attack where I was quote tweeting this and Jasper was trying to slide into Danny's DMs, and it looks like Danny's like, we'll add Rocket Pool as one of the paths that people could interact with. So I said, let's do this. And if you scroll down, then he replied to my quote tweet saying that is like saying, yes, it will. So this is after he'd already talked to Jasper, saying, yes, it will. And yeah, this is quite promising, like if we can get our foot in the door of an early protocol, it's still in the closed beta right now. So if we can get, established in a protocol like this, that potentially could grow quite a lot, to thousands, if not tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of users, then hopefully some of those will be staking their ETH or their crypto and, changing it to Rocket Pool in the back end. That would be fantastic.
HeyAnon isn't the only one. It sounds, I think there's one called Banker. It's very similar.
Banker's a little more simple at the moment, as far as I know. Like you interact with Banker through casts. Right now, it's moving to Twitter as well. But I think it's, as far as I know, it's just involved at the moment for sending crypto back and forth. But HeyAnon, like the goal is to be like a full DeFi like suite of doing like everything in DeFi, like bridging, swapping, staking, loan positions, like, you know, liquidity, everything that you can do. Like it wants to be the one-stop shop for everything DeFi. So I think it's a little bit more ambitious than Banker, as far as I know. Then you've got some stuff on Solana, like Griffane, that's launching as well, and that's going to be cross-chain as well. So this is a sector that's really, really caught up a lot of attention this last week. It went from zero mindshare, you know, just 2 weeks ago, to like now having 10% mind share in the whole of crypto Twitter. So it's definitely a very, very fast growing sector. The thing with Danny is that he's quite a polarizing figure. People either love him or hate him. And it tends to be that, you know, people who made money in the previous cycle, they're the ones who are happy with him. And the people who, like, you know, were there at the end when they got blown up, they're the ones who are angry with him. Another side is as well, like the Frog Nation. These are people who were like, you know, his little users of his protocols. They were one of the most passionate and belligerent you know, crypto communities, and any criticism of Danny or his protocols or any kind of hint of criticism even, and, you know, this whole swarm of frogs would kind of descend on you and just like rip you apart basically. So you know, people were on the receiving end of the Frog Nation attack last time, especially, you know, saying that there were critical errors with his protocols before they blew up. So they were kind of in the right, but at the time, you know, it was really difficult that they experienced this, and it was quite tough for them, I think.
Yeah,
So,
I think this is a good use case where we talk about abstracting away the difficulties of doing blockchain stuff,
yeah,
which it is. It's gotten better over time, the user experience, but it's still not complete. It's not like using Venmo, you know, where it's like 1 click, 2 click, or even 1 click, you're done. And maybe this is like a solution for most people, where maybe not for people like you or me who, you know, we're in the weeds on this, but just the average Joe Bag of Donuts who doesn't know DeFi. What? Hey, I got this stable coin. Can you please earn yield on it for me? Right? And then it'll do it, and do it automatically and make it easy. So maybe this is one of those solutions to a better user experience, is to have a AI token, or AI agent, I should say, not bot, AI agent, who's smart enough to do it the correct way and safely.
Scary though, because it's going to have your keys right to your wallet. So it's definitely one of those situations where you set up a burner wallet and only keep in there what you're willing to lose, pretty much, just in case something goes wrong. You know, that will happen. Like, I'm sure at some point some of these agents are going to get exploited, and they are going to hallucinate your money away or something like that. So please be very, very careful. The thing I'm excited about is just new avenues for Rocket Pool and rETH to hopefully get exposure. And, you know, if we can do that, that would be fantastic.
That's one solution they'll have to come up with, is how do you
They're already working on that. So they're having like predetermined paths that humans and other AIs are going to be vetting. So with HeyAnon, they're setting up another AI called Gemma, and that's going to be like the research AI that's trying to work out, you know, what different protocols there are, what different paths you can use. I think at some point there's going to be human involvement as well, in like setting up these paths and these different ways of doing things. But I'm not sure exactly how it is right now.
Yeah, giving someone your keys is always risky. So yeah, I'd be curious on what kind of solutions they come up with that problem.
Yeah.
Speaking of RPL and Rocket Pool, let's talk about our ETH for a second. So our ETH is now live on Base with Euler. I almost said Euler again, Euler. So we talked about this a couple times. They've relaunched, you know, as we talked about a couple of years ago, they had that big exploit, but they've relaunched, trying to start over. And they are now on Base. So there's not much rETH on Base, if I'm correct, but Base is really becoming the dominant L2 out there. And it's nice to see that rETH is going to be part of this launch. We've had some nice integrations lately. We had Contango, which is like a looping type of protocol where you can deposit your rETH and it'll loop it and leverage it. You got the Euler launch here. And the STAR initiative comes out of rETH incubator ideas, where this this is a new job that is out where it's a part-time job, but it would help coordinate this initiative. And as I recall, WAC, you can fill me in, the STAR was one of the top rated ideas through the incubator as
Is number
scored.
one.
And what it does is really, it allows the community members to go out and take the initiative on their own to go to places like Euler and other protocols to say, hey, would you like to integrate rETH? And this is why, because rETH is the most decentralized, LST and da. And that way it can have a multi-pronged attack to all these DeFi protocols to integrate and help, hopefully mint new rETH. So having said all that, there's a job opening of an overseer of this initiative. And you covered this on your show. I won't go over it all, but they're looking for applicants to apply. There's a job forum. There's questions. The deadline is January 19th, which is about just 3 or 4 days away. And this is going to be, I think, just a quick turnaround. I think just a week later, there'll be a decision on who this is going to be. So if you're interested, make sure you apply by the 19th. Decision will be January 26th on who it is. This is really, I'm excited about WAC is that the community asked for, hey, you got an idea for rETH? A whole bunch, got over 20 submissions. They were all scored. And now we're into getting this ball rolling. It's only mid-January, and we've already got a job opening for this position. We're moving ahead quickly, I should say, on these initiatives, what I'm excited about. So what are your thoughts?
Yeah, so Star was the number one rated incubator idea. Dr. Doofus did a great job, summarizing it. He already worked on Swoop before, so that was the previous version of this, less refined. But there were some successes that came out of that with getting Nexus Mutual to mint 14,000 ETH into rETH, which is fantastic. Now we are at the point where we can professionalize this, scale it up, and this overseer position is fundamental to that. This will be the person organizing everything. It's 2 hours a day of work, pretty much, an hour and a half or 2 hours a day of work. For that, you'll be getting $1,000 a month, which is really nice. But this is, a serious position, right? There's a lot riding on this, and the success of this whole initiative could be down to this person. If they step up and if they do a really good job, it could be amazing. If they sadly don't step up and do a good job, then it could stall and waste months of potential growth. So I'm really hoping that we get some serious people applying to this, people who are known to do the work, known to step up when the time comes, and really push this forward, because I really do think that this is one of the best chances we have of helping rETH grow and scale, and I'm really excited to see what comes out of this.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Okay, on to our next thing. Just an update on Saturn 1. As we recall, the roadmap that was published had shown we'd have several DevNets leading up, pretty much one DevNet a month.
6 weeks,
or every 6 weeks, from January to the anticipated launch would be in July. So Langer's chimed in about the update, and the question was, hey, is DevNet 1 on schedule? And he says, yes, there will be a quarterly update for November, December, January. It's on my list for next week. We hope to have the DevNet 1 out by the end of the month. Okay, so that's good news. The team is back from the holidays. Hopefully they're plugging away. It made me think of, usually the team is at ETH Denver. We haven't really talked about that much. It sounds like there's not going to be a booth this year. Do you know if the entire team is coming this year, or are they just going to have a couple of representatives and folks will be back home?
As far as I know, the whole team is coming, or most of the team is coming. That's as far as I know. So I'm not certain on that. But we will then like you said, there's no booth. So Mav was sending out some feelers about what the attendance numbers might look like, and seeing if people are going to attend, and if they are, then what kind of social stuff they might be able to set up. I am thinking of potentially not attending this year. So that's kind of where I'm standing right now. I still haven't applied for my ticket. I haven't booked my flight, got a hotel, or anything like that. I feel like, maybe I could have done more on this, but not many people are kind of taking the initiative and getting a house set up or coming up with plans of things to do. So there's just not that excitement or that buzz that normally has been the case the last few years. So I'm not really sure if I'm going to be going or not. But how about you? Are you going, Pat?
No, I can't go this year. So
Yeah. Yeah. So I think that's the case with a lot of people. Like I've seen that saying that they can't come this year. So it's a bit of a shame because, ETH Denver has been a huge amount of fun in the last couple of years. But I think the 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 selling point for the Rocket Pool community was the booth. And the fact that there's no booth this time, I think, means that that won't be there. So the same amount of draw for our community might not be there as well. But hey, ETH Denver is a lot of fun, and in some ways, you might actually get to enjoy more of the conference this time by there not being a Rocket Pool booth instead of just like doing what I did last year is just do the Rocket Pool stuff the whole time. So
right.
that's something to pay attention to. But I'm sure it'll be great. And like I said, the team members are going to be turning up. But yeah, go have fun.
You'll have fun. There's a last minute ad. We had an announcement here by a small company called BTCS. It utilizes Rocket Pool to drive revenue growth. This is their press release. They've spun up 320 validators, and it was nice to see because it says here, over the last 5 months, BTCS has conducted an extensive due diligence process on Rocket Pool, a decentralized Ethereum-based liquid staking protocol. This evaluation included a thorough assessment of auditability, compliance, cybersecurity, infrastructure integrity, and potential business risks and rewards to ensure a secure and scalable validator implementation. As part of this comprehensive review, BTCS completed a pilot program and it has now expanded to 320 validators participating in Rocket Pool's liquid staking pool, marking a significant step in expanding the company's validator node presence. So this is pretty cool. You had someone, this is permissionless, so anyone can come in and start poking around. They did their due diligence. They did a lot of research, and they said, "Hey, you know what? We're going to Rocket Pool. This is the best. This is the best in class, and we're staking our business reputation on it." So that's great. Good news.
Absolutely.
I hope we see more of this.
Yeah, I really hope so too. Like, it would have been better if they just minted rETH instead. But hey, that's okay. Like, we really need more rETH to be minted. But like having node operators, like they get a huge boost in their rewards. It just makes sense to come to Rocket Pool instead of solo staking or going to anyone else, really, because it's permissionless. They can come in and out as they want. The data, the auditability, of course, is all there, so they can get a full idea of what's going on and what's not going on. There really isn't anything better than Rocket Pool in that sense.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Do you have a win this week?
Yeah, I spent some time yesterday talking to Sam from Liquidity about Liquidity and integrating Rocket Pool into Liquidity V2. That is coming very, very, very soon. That episode is actually going to be released today, like very soon after we finish recording. So by the time we release the weekly orbit, that episode will already be out, so people can go and watch that. But that was actually a really, really nice chat that I had with Sam. And Liquidity is just such a great protocol. Like, I just love their ethos. I love what they're doing. And it looks like version 2 is going to come back to fix a lot of the shortcomings that were there in version 1. And I think that it's going to be really, really cool to see what they're doing.
Yeah, so that was another. So we had Euler, we had Contango, and soon we're going to have Liquidity V2, which is it's a non-upgradable contract, as I understand. Once they deploy it, it's out there forever.
Yeah, and the only protocols they're launching with, of course, is ETH, and then Lido's wrapped STETH and Rocket Pool's rETH. That's it.
Nice.
So they can't upgrade it to add more protocols. So for the life of V2, which is technically the life of Ethereum, because you'll be able to use V2 forever. It's immutable; it'll never go away. There'll be rETH there always.
Yeah, and I think, as I recall, you can set your own, if you want to borrow, you can set your own interest rates. You can set you can customize it to whatever fits your needs. So it's kind of interesting for those out there.
They've also got a really cool tool that will actually allow you to loop within the app itself, so they automate it. So what happens is you'll deposit your rETH, take a loan in Bold, then use that Bold to go buy rETH, and then deposit that, and then you can do that up to 4 times within the app itself. Of course, the more times you do it, the riskier it gets, but that's actually really cool because you can set the interest rate yourself, right? So you set the interest rate to be less than the staking rewards, then you gain more, basically.
Got it.
Yeah.
I don't have a win this week. I woke up this morning early with a water main break, which they just showed up actually just now. So the city to take a look. So
Good holiday.
I've been pretty busy. So
Yeah.
on that note, thanks for joining us and listening. Please like and subscribe. We'll be here next week. Wish me luck on the water. I hope I don't have to pay for it. If I do, it's going to be a lot of money. So take care, everyone.
See you. Bye.
Bye-bye.